Everyone.
Hey,
I'm Michael.
and today we have our top 10 games that we learned in December of 2024.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
The year has come to a close,
that's right.
but we don't forget about December.
That's right.
So we still have games that we play.
That's right. And in case you might miss it, we are going to do our top 24 games of 2024 on Sunday, this coming up Sunday. And it's already January. A lot of people have already put out their top lists of the year.
Mhm.
They put it out in late December.
Mm-mm.
What do you say about that, Steph?
I say shenanigans because my year ends December 31st.
That's right.
So,
and one of the
there's
games,
to learn
that's
more
right.
games.
The number one game on my list, I learned on this list right here.
Right.
I learned on December 30th. And it's probably going to make my top 24 list of the year.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's right.
That's why you can't do it early.
That's why you can't do it early. For sure.
We'll go over all the stats in the year-end video for the year, but I only learned 30 games in December, so it was low. I was in Maine for holidays and stuff, so but we still managed to learn. I still managed to learn 30.
Yep,
so.
we learned a couple while you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
We played them over BGA.
Yeah, BGA is a great resource
It
to
really
learn new
is.
games, to try games before you buy games, all these things. So a few on my list are actually found on Board Game Arena.
That's right. So, before we go any further, I should say that all of the games, except for 3 of them, were provided by the publishers.
Yep.
But you know what?
What?
They did not give us those games in exchange for their placement on this top 10 list or for the videos that we did for them. But they did give it to us because they know we like to play all the games. That's right.
For
So,
sure.
and for those of you who don't know, see, there's all the games right there. Everyone on Twitch knows. For those of you who don't know, we are on YouTube at BoardGamerSteph, or you can always join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream through 3 games or more every single stream.
Yeah.
We teach all the rules and play through all the games.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yep. Starting with my number 10 for this month. Oh, before we get started with that, I should also say, we played 3 of my games that we played were in prototype form.
Yeah.
And I probably would have put 1 or 2 of them on this list.
That's true.
But I can't.
Yeah, I didn't rate those.
I did not rate them
Otherwise,
either.
they would have been on my list as well.
But they were new to me.
That's true.
In December. And I'm like, I could have probably put them on this list.
That's what you get for playing prototypes. Can't talk about them.
Can't talk about them. But my number 10 game is from Bite Wing Games. It is called Gussie Gorillas. In Gussie Gorillas, you are trying to trade with the other gorillas at the table. Stacy, thanks for subscribing with Prime.
Thank you so much, Stacy.
Oh, she says, shh, don't say anything.
Oh.
So, here's the catch. You don't know what your cards are. So, when you want to trade with people, you will pick up your card like that, and we will look at what everybody else has, and we'll make offers. If nobody decides that they want your card, you might have to draw a second card or a third card. Here's the catch. You can't say, I'm going to trade you 2 for 1. You're offering everything you have in your hand. If no one wants to trade with you, you have to put it in your own pile. Matter of fact, if everyone is out of cards and there's no one to trade with, you must put your cards in your pile. Here's the thing. Some cards have negatives on them.
Yeah.
Some cards flip around. So 2s become 7s, right out of 2, and then turn it upside down and it sort of looks like a 7. 6s turn into 9s, 9s turn into 6s. 10s turn into 0, 1.
That's bad.
So here's the other catch. If you get a pair of numbers that are the same, like 2 3s, then they cancel each other out. You have to discard both of them unless you have a card like a split. Let you split them apart, and then you get to score both of them. So, a lot of interesting things going on here. If after everything has been traded and you count up all your points, if you have the most points at the table, you get a banana. If you get 2 bananas, you win the game.
Nice.
So you're just going to play hand after hand after hand until one player gets enough bananas to win. That's Gussie Gorillas from Bite Wing Games.
Super cute.
It was, good times were had by all. We did play this on our Alphabet Challenge on January 1st.
So it was new to me in January.
That's why it's not on your list. But I did. This is one of the few times I learned a game
Without me.
in December that you get to maybe talk about in January. Matter of fact, a different year. How often does that happen? It never happens.
Not often.
That's my number 10, Gussie Gorillas.
My number 10 is actually a solo game.
So I didn't get to play it.
I know. It is called For Northwood. I don't know if you've ever heard of this game. But,
I have not.
You know, Shano's actually, I bet Shano at BGG Spring, and he bought me this cute little card game, and I've had it over on the shelf, a solo game, for a while since then, and I have not yet tried it. But I saw it when I was in Maine, on vacation on BGA. So I learned it. I read the rules. I played it. I really liked it. So I'm really happy about it.
Did you play this during the streaming night that you did, or no?
No, I just played it when I was watching Hallmark movies with Mom. Oh, Stacy says For Northwood is the game that introduced me to trick taking.
Interesting.
Nice. It's really cool because you're managing these cards and you're trying to like manipulate the board and use these cards to win over the kings of the different, I don't know, castles or Northwoods.
Very cool.
I don't know how to explain it, but I had a lot of fun. It's very tricky. The first 2 games, I'm like, I did it wrong.
You said tricky.
It's very tricky. I did it all wrong. I had to like cancel the game and start over. I'm like, there should be an undo button. Because I needed to go back. But it's because you're playing against a dummy hand of cards. So you're at the mercy of what comes out. And if you can prepare your hand wisely enough and use your powers that you have to like kill off the trump suits in your hand, then you might be able to successfully win no tricks or whatever. If you need to win no tricks or 6 tricks, then you don't want to do that. You have to figure out other powers. And so it's all about manipulating all the things you can. It's a lot of fun. So if you like trick taking, if you like solo games, it's definitely worth checking out.
Seems good.
Yeah.
My number 9 game is another game by Bite Wing Games. Yes. It is Pumafiosi. In Pumafiosi, everyone is a cat and trying to be at the top of the family hierarchy, of the mafiosi hierarchy. Here's the catch. It's one of those games where you're going to take one of the cards in your hand and secretly put them out. Everyone reveals at the same time. And usually the highest wins in something like that, but not in Pumafiosi. The key is you let...
Knizia.
It is Knizia. So the top player does not win, because in the Mafia, if you are the loudest, most dangerous one out there, what's going to happen? You are going to be the one that gets offed, sleeping with the fishes. So you want to be number 2. And if you're number 2, then you get to ascend up the ranks of the hierarchy, and you will place yourself where you think that you're going to be safe enough. Like there are cards from 1 to 55. If you win with like a 16, that's not all that good. You probably want to put yourself low in the hierarchy. Why would you not put yourself high enough in the hierarchy? Because if you get knocked down in the hierarchy, those are going to be minus points. And it's sometimes worse than not winning that trick at all, if you get knocked down far enough.
Well, yeah.
So usually you want to put yourself down low in the hierarchy. We did actually play this on stream. And so you might want to go ahead and take a look at that video. It is super interesting to play. And it amazingly, it even worked with 2 players.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah.
I wish it was like Batman themed.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yes.
It's fine.
You don't really have a mafia hierarchy with Batman.
You do in the Penguin.
Well, maybe they should have a penguin themed one.
Yeah, maybe.
But I got to say, IP really complicated
Oh,
to
yeah,
have to deal with. So
that's just crazy talk.
that's 2 in a row from Bite Wing Games. That is two off
Oh,
POC.
roll.
That's right.
All right, I have a bit cheesy one right here. We calling it fromage.
That is cheesy.
That's very cheesy.
I've not played it. It's not on my list.
Everybody's been talking about fromage, so it's like, oh, I really wanted to check it out. And my friend David came over one night and he taught me the game, so that was really nice of him. Also,
That was when he put up
he helped me put
the
up
artwork.
a photo, which is great. So this is also found on BGA for those who want to try it. It's a really interesting game because you're placing your little pawns out and taking different actions, but depending on where you put the pawn, you'll get a better action. However, it's going to cost you time around the wheel. So only like if you want to get the gold, you got to go put it on the gold spot, and it's going to cost you 3 turns before you get that pawn back.
That was sort of like corrosion.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're trying to plan out your pawns so that you can get actions each turn because you want your pawns back. So you have to strategically place things around. And, each of the quadrants of the wheel is its own little mini game, if you will. So you're trying to do different things depending on the part of the wheel. But I will say, like, what they do is nice is that everything that's a color is going to be 2 or 1, 2, or 3. And so you always know if it's that color, it's going to cost you that much time, or it's going to be worth that many points, because that's just so I think they did a good job with like the art direction and stuff like that. So it's definitely a game I'd like to play again. People have been really enjoying it, so curious to play it more.
Speaking of corrosion, that was a game that it was high on our list whenever we played it.
Yep.
And then you never heard about it. Hardly.
It's funny because I ended up teaching my Tuesday group corrosion, and they really
it's really good.
It's a great game. I quite enjoy it. So
yeah.
So
that just goes to show that a game that was
things
that
come
was
and go. So
the new hotness of 1 or 2 years ago, still fun today. So don't just like buy them and storm away like what we do.
Yeah. Great.
Don't be like us.
Yeah, don't be like us. Yes. Play your games.
Thank you for saying it properly, Steph. Wow.
What did I say properly? Hopefully.
Fromage?
Is it not? How else would you say it?
I'm not sure how else you would. Do people call it fromage?
Really?
That would be bad.
That would be bad.
Is that?
I have never heard that. If somebody says it a different way.
Is that really what people call it? Kime says they call it fromage.
What?
No, it's fromage.
Oh, gosh.
Holy mackerel. I've heard everything now. My number 8 game is your number 8 game.
That's a crossover.
That's right. It is. And again, I don't look at Steph's list whenever we're doing this. Sometimes it just works out that way. Oh yeah, Sam Bamsky says
Fromage.
Fromage. It is Caracas from Quali. And
the rules of this, because I played with my brother.
Yes, you did. And then you taught it to me.
Yeah, so this is probably on the docket to play tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, it's right here.
Yeah, because I really like it. And the rules are very simple. It's all about the scoring.
It's a super thin game.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
this is like this.
For those of you who are looking for small profile games, here you go. In Caracas, you are drafting tiles, and you're basically drafting them one turn, and then the next turn you're going to place the tile you drafted somewhere in your hierarchy, in your little river system, I should say. But you can't just place it anywhere you want. You have to place it in the column based on the tile you draft that you're going to place next round. Over and over like that, you're going to place based on where you draft, and then place that next one based on where you draft. And you're trying to earn bonus points based on where your animals are in Caracas.
There's a lot of different scoring happening because there are specialized animals that, you only see one of in the game. So it has its own scoring rules. So you're never going to see the same set of tiles every game. I mean, when you play 2 players, you take out half the tiles anyway. So especially that way. But it's tough because you're trying to plan, but you can't really plan. And Michael takes my tile, and then I get a new tile. I'm like, well, now what? Now I have like a group of like 5 Jaguars, and they're all supposed to be separated.
Yeah, Jaguars, you got to keep them separated. That's right.
I like it. It's a little puzzly game, and then it plays really quickly.
That's right. Stacy says we should switch seats when there are crossovers. We cross over.
That's like too much work.
That's hard.
That's too much work.
Plus, then we got to redo the lighting and everything because I have a good side and a bad side. Anyway.
But this would make a good end of the Calyx game. Like,
yes, it absolutely would. There is that little space.
I hate that space.
This is what, an inch? I mean, that is really narrow.
Yeah.
So be sure to check out Caracas from Quali. Quali, you have long been a fan of the Quali games.
I do. I loved Habitats. That's what drew me in, and then I've always enjoyed learning their new games. So
that's right. So my number 7. So
not my number 7.
I almost had a trifecta of Bitewing games.
I know, almost right in a row.
But Quali right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
My number 7 game, also from Bitewing, Hot Lead.
Nice. Hot Lead?
It looks like Hot Lead. I think it's Hot Lead because you are an investigator trying to pursue hot leads, trying to track down criminal groups. And the way you do that is you are basically putting in a card, much like what I mentioned with Puma Mafiosi, where you're putting in a card, everyone reveals at the same time, and you're going to collect a card in a display based on the card that you revealed. So if you have the best card, you're going to take in one of the first position, the next best in the second position, next best in the third position. A whole lot like For Sale, I should say. Where you have the 4 different houses for sale, and based on what you play, you're going to get that one in the hierarchy, right? So
maybe I like it because I'm undefeated.
Whoa.
I'm so good at this game. And by so good, I mean I crushed everybody.
Crushed us.
I think their combined scores wasn't even as good as my score.
So, it's really interesting because you are trying to be the first to get a set of 2 of something. If you're using the optional promotion variant is what they call it, where you get a little 10-star based on, if you get the first 2 set of the yellows or the blues or the pinks, then you are going to get that corresponding promotion star. But here's the catch. You want to stop at 3, because if you get 4, you have pursued that hot lead a little too strongly, and the criminals will up and scatter, and you will get no points for those criminals. You have to discard them all. So at the end of the game, you're trying to get at least 1 of each color, and if possible, you can get bonuses if you have 3 of a single color. So, and for each one of those single colors, you're going to get bonus.
You got to go for the rainbow.
You got to go for the rainbow, for sure.
Well, if you're me, you always have to go for it.
So, that is my 3rd Bitewing game of the month.
I mean, that's a good month for them, huh?
7, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's great. All right, so we have another crossover.
Except yours is number 7, mine is number 6.
That's right.
From Sashi and Sashi.
But still.
Who you got to meet in December.
Oh my God. So one of the highlights of December was meeting Sashi and Sashi. They are just so wonderful. And they came over for PAX U. I was so excited to meet them. They're just great. So I always have loved playing their games. This one is a fun card drafting type game where you're filling up your bus of people and you're trying to drop them off and collect different cards depending on how many people you can optimally deliver at the right time. And what's always fun is kicking people off your bus too. That's fun too.
Get off my bus.
Oh, because if Michael makes a delivery to the university, I'm like, okay, bye.
You're getting off here. So it's interesting in that it is ultimately a drafting game. You're drafting colors of passengers, like all the blue passengers or all the green passengers, and they're all wanting to go to different destinations. So you're collecting them at a different time than you're dropping them off, and it's really clever, I think.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. The seniors just want to go one stop, so they just basically get on your bus and go off.
Yeah.
Just
Flip.
flip them right over, and yeah. So, yeah. Stacy says, "I wonder if there will be another Sashi and Sashi game on this."
I didn't play another one this year.
No, we only had that this.
However, I know what you're thinking of, and yes, it will be.
Maybe.
It is not a Sashi and Sashi game.
So it's super fun if you enjoy drafting games and set collection type games.
Yep.
It is super fun.
Yeah, it's a small card game.
Yeah.
So always happy to play. Bus and stop.
That's right.
That's right.
Really small, like much smaller than you see here.
And I always have to keep it forever because it's all signed and everything.
Yeah.
So that's not going anywhere.
That's right. And be sure to check out our video on that. On most of these.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out our videos.
Yeah.
Your number 6.
My number 6 is actually a game that I played many years ago when it came out under Tasty Minstrel.
Wait a minute. It's not a new to you then.
No, it is because it's a new entry and I don't remember it well enough, but there are changes.
Oh, well then it is new to you.
I don't remember what they changed. I don't know what they changed.
Gotcha.
It's been years and years and years since I played Harvest, but this is the new Harvest.
And we learned it on Board Game Arena when you went to Maine.
Yep, because it was on the pile, and I wanted to stream it, and we did stream it, so that's great. This is a great little worker placement game where you're optimizing your actions, clearing your board, planting some crops, and harvesting those crops for points. But you also want to build buildings, but the buildings take up so much space on your field that
it makes it hard to harvest.
You won't be able to plant as much, so it's all about optimizing. And the game is actually fairly quick because it's only 4 rounds, and you have 3 actions around, so it's kind of
12 actions in a game.
Yeah, it's pretty snappy, and just do the best with what you got because everybody has a power that they can use.
Yeah, nothing seems overpowered or unbalanced, I think. There can be some really cool player powers, but those I don't think they overwhelm the game. You're just trying to make the best out of the situation that you have in front of you. So, and sometimes, wherever she places her wheelbarrows, I can't place my action there. So, if you enjoy action selection games, this is probably right up your alley.
Oh, totally.
That's Harvest from Keymaster Games.
Even that you can check it out on BGA.
That's right.
So, totally worth doing. Not a very long game.
Right.
Hey, we have a crossover again.
How can that be?
I don't know.
It is though.
I don't know. It's the game. It's the month of crossovers.
It is the month of crossovers. We played this actually again on January 1st for our alphabet challenge.
Yeah.
We always play a number game first, and then we play our A game. And so this is our A game for our alphabet challenge, and it is Alpine Trails from Last Night Games.
Yeah, so I love tile placement games in general. And this one, you're building you grab 2 tiles from the bag. They're double-sided. You have to decide on how you're going to place them on your map, and you're trying to make trails to campsites.
Yeah, one side is always a trail.
Yeah.
One side is always not a trail.
Yeah.
Like it's just
symbols.
Rock
or
forest or swamp or meadow.
Yeah, because all these different things are going to score. No matter what you do, you're going to get points. So just what does your goal say that you'll get points for? Maybe focus on that. But you also want to focus on getting other points, like finding a waterfall or making a really long trail path for the end of the game and score a whole lot of points. And Last Night Games. Literally.
It wasn't in the night though. Last Day Games.
Yeah, that was A. That was early.
It was early. Yeah, we started around 10:30.
Yeah.
And ended around 12:20.
Yeah, but so the Last Night Games,
like midnight 20.
Their titles are all like really, you get good decisions in a short time.
Yes.
And so all of their games offer that, and so I was happy because we all had played this a few weeks ago, so everybody was familiar with the A game. I'm like, we could just snap through it, and
That's right.
it was great.
Super snappy, as you say.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of good, interesting decisions because if you create so many miles worth of path, then you can create a campsite, but you have to discard tiles to do that. It has to be 6 miles worth of trails in order to build another camp, in order to build a campsite. If you create a loop, a bunch of trails in a loop, you get a waterfall. Waterfalls score like cloisters in Carcassonne.
Ish, almost.
So, and if someone else places a T path, a path that does this, right? Then they will announce it, and you will get that corresponding animal that you can place. Little cute wooden animals that you will place on. Oh, I know what you need to do. You need to put googly eyes on those animals.
I know, they're so cute.
So,
gotta do it.
Steph always does that. She always puts googly eyes. So yeah, super cute. Lots of ways to score. Highly recommend Alpine Trails from Last Night Games.
Yeah, I think we're gonna stream that one tonight too.
Yay! Oh, it's right here.
I put the games that we're planning on streaming tonight.
Ta-da!
Right here.
Look, it looks just like it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
It's because it is it.
That's right. My number 4. We almost had a crossover. If I were looking at yours, I would have put it right next to it, but I wasn't looking at yours. This is my number 4. It is Harvest from Keymaster Games. As I mentioned, if you like action selection, then this is right up your alley. If you enjoy 2-player action selection, they have a little dummy player, AI-based player with that will block spaces based on the card that you draw. And
to use.
No, it's not hard at all.
It doesn't like dissuade me from playing a 2-player game.
And it's not fiddly at all.
Yeah,
it's like reveal a card.
Yeah.
That wheelbarrow blocks a space, and that's it. Easy.
It's easy.
So be sure to check out Harvest from Keymaster Games. Your number 4.
My number 4
is
Hot Lead, because I really enjoy the simultaneous card selection type games. I think it's fun to try and like aim for the card you're going for, and then like I kept getting James yesterday because I was like one above him every time getting the card we were both going for. So I felt
that's
bad.
the best.
I felt bad, but it feels good when you do it. I've been on the other end of that before too, so I'm like, oh, again.
Exactly.
But that's the game. But you're playing it in 15 minutes. Just play it again. It's fine. I enjoy trying to fight for the different cards and getting the sets, getting the star tokens.
Yep. As these are Knizia games, a lot of these Bitewing games are Knizia games. You get a lot of those same mechanics where you're doing simultaneous card selection.
Yeah.
Because that's in Hot Lead and Pumafiosi. So
yeah,
you get that same sort of mechanic with both of those.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Absolutely. That is Hot Lead from Bitewing Games.
Yes.
My number 3 game is Superstore 3000 from Space Cowboys. In Superstore 3000, you're trying to build the mall of the future where you are basically starting off with a ground floor of a mall, and you have customers that are wanting to get to shops, but they'll only walk a certain distance in your mall, and then you build your mall up from there. You could have an entrance higher up in the mall. I don't know how they get there, but they do. And so you're drafting different mall pieces in order to deliver your customers to. And if you can get your goals complete, then you might be able to build really cool, like a futuristic bowling alley or some kind of add-on to your mall. And it really does look like a futuristic type of mall.
It's fun. It's a fun theme. It's like it reminds me of Jetsons.
Oh, absolutely reminds me of
Jetsons. Think Jetsons when you think this theme, because it's awesome. It's fun. It's a fun theme.
Yes.
It's fun drafting tiles. I really like it.
Yep. And if you meet some of your objectives, then you can widen your hotel out a little bit with more base floor pieces. The extra pieces that you build could accidentally go over the top of some other structures, which you may or may not want, because you could end up getting bonuses for having certain things in a column. A lot of different scoring opportunities for this. So this was so fun. It made my number 3 game, and we've streamed it already.
Yep. And this is actually found on BGA if you want to check it out. I know, I played it. Awesome. I played it. It's great.
It's got to be easy to
yeah
just point and click.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I've not played it on BGA, so
no, it's good.
That is Superstore 3000 from Space Cowboys.
Yeah. My number 3 is a game we got to learn at PAX, Risafa.
From Delicious Games. Not provided by the publisher yet.
No. It's because it's sushi. I always like to play sushi games just because I think he always has really interesting ideas. And so this one has a bunch of different moving mechanics, and you can't do it all. You got to focus on a few things. But there's a lot of like card play to get bonuses, and you're like want to move around a map to gain and deliver goods, or you can just say I'm not going to do that. Maybe you're going to work on building the aqueducts or whatever they're called, the waterworks. I don't know. I'm bad at theme, so no, but I like all of the choices. And then there's the other puzzle part in front of you where you're trying to like surround the gardens and gain bonuses that way. So there's lots of different ways to score points. It's just a matter of trying to do it well. I won't lie, it didn't go over well with the rest of the table as much, but I enjoyed what I was doing. I like trying to optimize my actions and figuring out a game system, but it is tough to enjoy an experience when the majority of players aren't enjoying it. But it still made my list, as you can see, at the top 3, because I think there's a lot of potential here, and I want to play it again.
This fell absolutely flat with me.
That's fair.
One of the problems is that the market is artificially structured, I think. So you have 2 different types of tiles. One set of which goes on one half of the map, the other set of which goes on the other half of the map. And the things you have to basically pick up and deliver, which I'm shocked this made it this high on your list, being ultimately a pick up and deliver game.
No, because I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, well, this is why it fell flat. Because, and if you can win without that, you're basically leaving out the entirety of the game board. But be that as it may, you have to take the stuff from the left half of the map and truck it all the way over to the right half of the map, and take this to ultimately truck it over to the left half of the map. But here's the real kick in the gut. If someone else goes over there and delivers it and flips that tile over, all of a sudden they're not really wanting that anymore. And I just spent all of my resources to get this stuff here. And when all of a sudden, now you can't even move this good anymore. And I'm like, oh, I've now wasted an entire turn or 2. No, not for me. No thanks.
Okay.
So
fine.
That is Risafa from Delicious Games. Will not be making my list on a very short month, I should say, where I only learned like 25 new games. Did not make my top 10. So.
Okay, fine. I still like it.
Yes, you can like it. That's fine. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. It might be up somebody else's alley. For me, it just does not work.
Yep.
So, my number 2 game is a game that we played at PAX Unplugged. We actually got it at PAX Unplugged and played it with Stacy, who is currently watching this stream.
Yeah.
That's right. Played it in her kitchen. It is called Overparked from Origame. So we saw Daryl Chow at PAX Unplugged.
Also awesome, because I talk with him a bunch and yes. I enjoy his games, and so
and he shows up. He shows up on stream, right? When we play his games. So yeah. So in Overparked, you are drafting tiles. Basically, one person is in control of what card gets drafted. Everyone else has to take what is offered by everyone, by the person that is manipulating this wheel. Basically, you spin the wheel around to the card you want to select. Everyone else has to take what's in front of them, and then has to play one of the cards that they have drafted. You have to place your cars in the parking lot based on the card that you are playing, and trying to optimize. It's like a tile laying puzzle, but you're really laying cars in this parking lot into patterns that will be beneficial for your scoring. There are a few parking cones that you can run over, and they go over into your what is it called? Your no parking area.
Yeah.
If there's a car you cannot place or a truck you cannot place in your parking lot, that goes over to the no parking area, which are going to be negative points for you by the end of the game. So,
Yeah. And you can manipulate the cars to some extent, but it's going to cost you probably big time. So you don't necessarily want to do that. And you're trying to complete goals before other people, and you're trying to do all these fun things. It's like a fast, fun
yes.
game. That starts with the letter O.
Yes. I enjoyed it both times we've played it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Me too.
I
We loved it too. Sweet Amy, when she came and played, and Stacy said it's a good game. She enjoyed it as well. She would have bought it the next day.
Yeah, if we had played it on Saturday, she would have bought it on Sunday, but we played it on Sunday after everyone had gone home.
So, yeah.
And enjoyed it enough that she would have bought it.
Oh, yeah. I really like that one.
That is over Park From or a game.
Yeah. My number 2.
Your number 2.
Hey, guess what? Is Superstore.
Superstore 3000.
Super fun. It's a very light drafting game. But I think it's just, they're fun puzzles. You gotta try and meet the goals and do all the things. And I just like this kind of game.
Draft and place.
I know. I enjoy it. It's very simple, right? I could see this having an expansion easily. So,
Superstore 3005.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely a keeper. I'm curious to see where they go with it, because I don't see why they wouldn't.
That's right.
It's really fun. So, that's it.
Superstore 3000 from Space Cowboys.
Yes.
Time for the number 1 game
like this
of
game
December.
When I picked it to play it, because I really enjoyed it when I played it. I think it was last December.
Yeah. So we were at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Steph had reached 500.
Yeah.
500 new games for the year. I got to 490 for the year. And Steph said, I can't play anything new. It would look off. It's 501 new games for the year. So we're like, what can we do? Hey, I know. Let's play a game that you've already played before that I still need to learn. We have plenty of those. We have Steady that I need to learn.
Yes.
Hey, that you've played.
Yeah.
We have Earth that I need to learn.
It would make
that
the top of your list, I think.
And yeah, you think you suspect that both of those
games.
Right at the top. So keep watching, and you might see those at some point. There are actually quite a few games that you have played that I need to play. A lot of them, like SETI, you learn at the gathering, and you learn it ahead of time, and I have not yet gotten a chance to play it. This game is much like that. I believe you played this at BGG Fall.
Last year, I sat down, I wanted to play it. It was in the hot games room, and I'm like, I'm going to read the rules. So I read the rules and taught 3 people who sat down with me. And then I haven't been able to play it since, though we did pick it up at Gen Con.
Yes.
And Pegasus, like I said, has been knocking it.
Has been, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Pegasus is knocking it out of the park.
Like a lot of great games.
They are likely going to have multiple games in my top 24 of 2024.
And this isn't even on my new to me list. So this whole year. So
yes. So my number 1 game of December. This is why you don't post your top 20 or top 10 or top 24 games of the year, because I learned this on December 30th. It is Gin by Pegasus Spiel. In Gin, you are basically doing worker movement from one place to another. selecting one of the available actions along your path, and then using that to try to capture the most gin to get a bunch of points. Now, you can't just willy-nilly capture gin. There are rules that have to be followed. You have to be able to place them in a spell circle and or eventually, ultimately, place them in a bottle of the appropriate color and cork it. And if you can do that with a group of 3 same colored bottles, then you can turn them in to get a bonus and 30 points. Most importantly, right? So,
well, they're all worth 10 points in the bottle anyway, but you get the 30 points and a bonus.
And the bonus. And it clears out all of the room on your spell circles so that you can then capture more gins. And if you're really good, you can capture a boss gin. So there are player powers and that will allow you to have some advantage over your opponents and disadvantage.
Which is interesting. I like having that.
Yes. The game board is variable, meaning there are little punch out things on the game board that you will randomize every game. So every game is going to be a little bit different. For example, there is a mage drafting area where you are collecting mages to help you defeat the djinn. If both of those action spaces are on one side of the board, it's going to make things super difficult to have to go out, go get those mages, and then come back and get those djinn, and go out to get more mages and go back and get the djinn.
Unless you can place and do all the things accordingly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a planning game,
yeah,
which I like.
It's absolutely a planning game. I love it. I love this game.
I loved coming up with plans.
Yes.
A gin and tonic?
I believe you beat me by 4 points. I thought you had me by more. Though at the start of the game, I thought I had your number pegged because I took every spot you wanted. Matter of fact, you had a plan, and I took your plan.
I took your whole
plan.
Ridiculous.
And then you found a way to destroy me.
It's the goal. Always the goal.
So, as usual, if it's a game that I am at least competitive in, but get beat at, I tend to really like it because it gives me that little bit of a challenge to get a little bit better next time. That is Jen from Pegasus Spiel.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner.
That's what Dave said. Dinner.
Chicken dinner.
It's funny.
A gin and tonic? Nice.
This Jalvia. What?
Your number one game.
A little bit spoiled by you.
What?
I know.
Yeah, she looked at my list and went, I hate it. You're spoiling 2 of my games. Or 3 of my games. I'm like.
It's because I put gin at the top for you.
It's your own fault.
My own fault. And SETI would have been there. Earth would have been there.
Yep.
So it wouldn't have changed.
You had to have given me a junk game.
That's right.
And Jen is not junk, I'll tell you that.
Number one is Overparked because it has all the elements I love in a game. Drafting the cards, getting the perfect card, and placing the trucks. It has an advanced mode where you can play with advanced trucks, meaning they're all going to score a little bit differently, which is fun because that's like extra puzzle for me to like, okay, well, if I put this here, then I'm going to need these things over here, but how can I group everything together to get the most points? And I can get motorbikes, and that will help me. And I love all of that type of planning in a short game because that's just the kind of thinking I enjoy.
It has something else you love too.
Cars?
Daryl Chow.
Daryl Chow. Has his name written all over them.
That's right.
So yeah, it super fun. I was really excited that he had a copy there. He was showing it on. I don't know if he's actually selling it. Maybe.
Oh, I feel bad because he had some of his shipments just not make. They were going to make it on Monday after PAX Unplugged.
I know. So I don't know if he had any, but he had one for me, so that was really special and sweet. So I was really We played it right away. I
We did.
wanted to play it right away.
Yeah, especially since he made sure you got a copy.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, all the way for overseas, really far away. What, Singapore? I think
I don't know.
Singapore. Far.
So,
Far away.
a recap of our top 10 for those of you who arrived late or fast forwarded through to the end of the video. We understand. You got a lot, don't have a lot of time. You just want to know the top 10. Here we go. Number 10, Gussie Gorillas from Bitewing Games. Number 9, Pumafiosi from Bitewing Games. Number 8, Caracas from Quali. Number 7, another one from Bitewing Games, Hot Lead. Number 6, Bus and Stop from Sashi and Sashi. Number 5, Alpine Trails from Last Night Games. Number 4, Harvest from Keymaster Games. Number 3, Superstore 3000 from Space Cowboys. Number 2, Overparked from Origame. And number 1, my favorite of the month, Gin by Pegasus Spiel.
Yeah. My number 10 was For Northwood, self-published. Number 9, Fromage from R2I Games. Number 8, Caracas from Quali. Number 7, Bus and Stop from Sashi and Sashi. Number 6, Harvest from Keymaster. Number 5, Alpine Trails from Last Night Games. Number 4, Hot Lead from Bitewing Games. Number 3, Risafa from Delicious Games. Number 2, Superstore 3000 from Space Cowboys. And number 1, Overparked from Origame.
That's right. That's our top 10. And on Sunday, we will have our top 24 of 2024.
Yes, so come back, join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, and we'll be starting around 5 Central Time, so
That's right.
don't want to miss it.
That's right.
Or it'll be on YouTube after, so it's fine.
Kim top December game was A Feast for Odin. That was one of your...
That's like the best game of all time.
Well, it's in your top 5, I would say.
It's in my top
5 of all time.
I think it's in my top 3 of all time. I think it's my 3rd favorite game.
There you go.
Which Fields of Arle is number 2.
And Gingopolis, number 1.
I love that. But Feast for Odin is amazing.
So, if you enjoy rules teaches, and you enjoy playthroughs, and you enjoy interesting insights that we can bring on your board gaming purchases, then you can check us out on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@BoardGamerSteph is how to find us.
That's me.
Or even better, you can join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, where we stream live every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, and we stream 3 games and usually a lot more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games!
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.
Happy New Year!
Yay!